Hey there, what's happening, replay viewer? My name is Brian Fryer, your social media upline. I help teach network marketers how to leverage social media the right way to grow their respected business. I'm excited about today's video as I'm going to be interviewing an up-and-coming rock star. She's been working with us for the past couple of months, absolutely rocking it out in her business, and I'm excited to help expose and share her with you guys here today. She's going to be sharing some of her best tips that have helped her catapult her business in a short amount of time. So if you feel that you'd get benefit from this and others would also benefit from this as well, feel free right now, bottom left-hand corner, share this video. As I just saw Kristen jump on here. 1 second, I'm going to add her to the broadcast. Right on. Kristen just sent you a welcome invite message. Super, super excited, guys. You guys are in for a treat. There she is. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We're super, super excited to have you with us, Kristen. How's everything going? You guys doing all right over there in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Yes, we had a rainy morning, but now the sun's shining and it's absolutely beautiful. So still got some warm weather, thankfully.
Awesome, awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Well, hey, I'm grateful for you. Excited that you carved out just a little piece of your afternoon to come hang out with us here today on our Monday Member Spotlight. We're excited to see all the amazing things you're doing in life and in business, and this is a great opportunity. A lot of my folks within our network don't know who Kristen Woodman is yet, and so this is going to be an exciting time. Let me first address all of our viewers real quick, Kristen, and then we'll dive in. All right. So if you guys have no idea who Kristen Woodman is, type the number 1 in the comment section below right now. I'm sure there's probably a lot. I know Kristen would love to come back through when we're done and say hello to you guys, what have you, and thank you for being here. So type the number 1 if you have no idea who Kristen is, and if you do type the number 1, I have a feeling you're going to be pretty excited because she's an absolute rock star. You're going to get a chance to get to know her a little bit more right now. But one more bit of business before we dive in. If you feel any others out there, team members, sideline, upline, downline, would get some value from today's training, feel free to share this right now, bottom left-hand corner. Kristen and myself, I'm sure we're going to be sharing some awesome tips to help you grow your business. So what do you say we dive in? Kristen, thank you again so much for taking a few moments out of your afternoon. We're super excited to have you. Let's start with this. Who is Kristen Woodman? For all of our viewers who have no idea who it is you are or whatever, love for you to start with maybe who you are, a little bit more about your story. Take it away.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Brian. It means so much to me for you to think so highly of me to be on here today. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate it. Thank you those for tuning in today. I appreciate it as well. But I'm Kristen Woodman. I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was born and raised here, and I guess a big portion of my life has been sports. I have learned so many lessons through being an athlete. I have been an athlete since I was I've been in, youth sports, but as far as being a serious athlete, I've been an athlete since I was 12. So that's about 16 years. I think it's one of the greatest lessons that anybody can learn. I know, Brian, you were a baseball player. So one of the things that I used to be a teacher. I did get to resign in May from teaching to pursue my business full time. So it's absolutely incredible. It's definitely been a life changer for me because I've always been an athlete. I've always lived in seasons of my life. So it's always this season to the next season to the next season. And when I graduated college, I went straight into being a coach. So it was the same seasons of life. I coached, I was a head volleyball coach where I resigned from teaching. It was a 5A school. So for some of you that don't know, we have about 200 kids per class. So it was about a middle of the road 5A school. I was a head volleyball coach there for 2 years. I also was able to contribute to a track boys state championship team. And I had a pole vaulter go. That was my coaching. I coached pole vaulting and high jump. And also I coach competitive volleyball. And I also run the girls strength and conditioning camp there at the school that I worked at. So I coach 4 sports throughout the year. And my husband can attest to this. He's tuning in. But it was always seasons of life. And it's always a countdown, and it's a countdown to when it's going to end. It's a countdown to a grind, or it's a countdown until I'm about to be in another busy season. So for me, being able to resign and have time has been kind of different. Being able to commit to social things, commit to my business and things like that it's definitely been different, because my schedule is always a constant puzzle. I have to fit things. I mean, I'm working around my schedule that I've committed. So if you were to ask me day before to go do something, it's probably going to be a no.
Right.
And I think that's been the biggest blessing for me being in this type of business, is that I am actually able to say no to things, or actually say yes to things that I wouldn't be able to. The past 4 years, I've been teaching. I've been a high school science teacher. And right now is the middle of season, and I average about 60 to 70 hours a week. So it's pretty crazy. It is most definitely a grind, because we coach, my assistant and I would coach 9th grade, varsity, and JV. So 3 teams, and, you're talking about practices, and, as a teacher or a coach, you don't, your work doesn't end just because you leave the gym. So, and it's very similar to what I'm doing now. So I really do enjoy it, but I enjoy the freedom of time. And that's been one of the biggest blessings, being able to resign from, corporate America, I guess. So that's a little bit about me. I am married. I got married in December. And so
congratulations. Very cool. Yes, very cool. Awesome.
So that's a little bit about me. I still have my hands in volleyball. I still coach. I give lessons. I just don't do it, 80 hours a week now.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, we appreciate you sharing. I think that, I'm learning as we're getting to know you guys a little bit better too, which is super cool. So former athlete, former teacher, just relatable things, just things that you were passionate about, up and coming. Obviously you've been graced with an incredible opportunity. You guys are rocking it. But I want to talk to our audience real quick. Are there any other athletes out there, or former athletes? Right, we got that competitive edge in us. I think that's a really cool aspect that we bring to the table, right? And then what about, are there any other teachers out there? If you're an athlete, type the number 2, or a former athlete, type the number 2. If maybe you're a teacher or you're taught at some point, type the number 3. I think that, the rest of this training is going to be really, really inspirational, just to hear a little bit more about Kristen's story and what she's been able to do. I appreciate you sharing and opening up a little bit for us here today, as our live viewers are just going crazy. If you have not invited someone on here yet, feel free to do so, bottom left-hand corner, or share this broadcast. It's these midday videos, I tell you, sometimes they get more viewers than nighttime videos. It just goes crazy, but hey, we're gonna have some fun with it. Well, if I may, or if you may be ever so kind, I'd love to let's spend a moment here and brag on you a little bit. I know you've been absolutely crushing it in your respected business. I'd love for you to just share a couple of successes that you've experienced in the last couple weeks, couple months, whatever it may be, that you've had. I'd love for you to just allow us to brag on you a little bit before we dive into some tips and tricks. All right? Take it away.
Absolutely. It's very difficult for me to do, so I'm probably going to be really red sitting here talking about myself. So one of the biggest successes is that, I've been able to pretty much double my team in the past 3 weeks. And I've gotten some go-getters as far as on my team. And so that's been absolutely incredible.
So awesome.
For those newbies out there that haven't signed up their first distributor, it just legitimately lights a fire under you. And so it has me going. I mean, the competitive edge in me has fully kicked in, and it's been absolutely incredible. And I wouldn't be where I am today without my team pushing me, and just the words of encouragement that they constantly share. I did a team training last night, and it's new to me. This is my first network marketing gig. I joined back in February. And I'm a green personality, so I like to know everything that's in line before I get started. As a teacher, I think a lot of teachers would probably be green personalities. So for me, it was kind of a struggle, because I was overthinking it. Like, I've got to be able to know this just in case someone asks me this question and be able to maneuver. So the words of encouragement and affirmation that my team has given me is absolutely incredible. And then at the end of August, I did hit the cornerstone of the company, halfway up the comp plan. And so that was just a big, that was a big accomplishment. I know people who hit that rank in that company, in any rank of their company, that halfway up is a big milestone, because then, I mean, it literally paves the way for you to hit the top. And that's, you know, that's my goal as far as being here. I would love to be able to retire my husband and be able to, you know, travel the way that we want to travel. And we've got a blended family. So, you know, working that dynamic and things like that, there's a lot of puzzle pieces to put together for us to be able to retire him. And that's my ultimate goal. And I'm just praying, you know, I think this has been put in my lap for a reason, and things lined out the way that they did for a specific reason. So those are two successes that I've had in the past few weeks. And I don't really,
I'm going to let you keep going. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. You're just like, oh, Coach Fryer, take the wheel, take the wheel. I don't want to keep talking about myself. Take the wheel. Well, I mean, first and foremost, congratulations. Like, seriously, like, you just hit the cornerstone rank in your company, which is awesome. I think that's, you know, it's a building block process, which is super cool. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that here in just a second. But, you know, doubling the size of your team in the last 3 weeks. I think that, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, it's awesome. Give me a high five real quick. Like, boom. Like, that's super cool. That's super awesome. You know, and what I really want to talk about is just first and foremost, I know you said this is your first network marketing opportunity that you've ever been a part of. How long have you been involved with your respective company? How long have you joined network marketing?
I joined in February of this year. So about the end of February is when I joined. So
right. So what is that? I'm not very good at math. 7 months? 7 months?
Yeah.
Almost 7 months. Mm-hmm. Almost 7 months. Super, super cool. Now, let me ask you this real quick. Is, you know, this was your first company. I'm sure there has been ups and downs. There's probably, maybe may not want to admit it, but there's been times of you just saying, to heck with this. This isn't working. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm quitting this week. No, I'm fired up next week. I'm just curious, has there been any of that in the last 7 months?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest things that I have learned is to be transparent. And I definitely try to be as transparent as possible. I'm a very logical person. It is either this way or it's this way. So for me, that gray area has been a struggle. And I don't like to, again, there's the competitive edge in me. But as far as being transparent, it's been very difficult. I've endured a lot in my life, and I've shared a lot of my story with my followers. And I do suffer from depression. I do take medication. I suffer from anxiety and depression. So having that, my mom struggled with it. My dad was a manic depressant. So I definitely, sharing that with my followers and having my biggest apprehension going into network marketing was that having a set schedule and making your own schedule, I was very, very nervous about, because I did not want to fail. I didn't want to fail and not be able to stick to a schedule. So that has been one of my biggest mind struggles, is that negative self-talk that I had in my head. Like I honestly thought that it was going to be a crutch, but really it's been a huge blessing. For those of you that may or may not be sharing your story on Facebook or with your followers, they are some of the most forgiving and encouraging people I could have ever come encounter. I mean, there are people that I've never met, never had a conversation with, and just the encouragement has been absolutely phenomenal. And so some of the other struggles mainly have been my self-talk, my mindset, I could not believe how negative I spoke about myself, how the lack of confidence I actually had. I mean, I've been coaching teenagers since I was 21 years old for 7 years. And I preach to them how important it is to have positive self-talk, to tell yourself that you can do it. And I never understood. I never realized, like, I struggled with that. You know, yeah. And it's amazing how much transformation I've had with this society that I'm in with you, and also the pushing the personal development, and how network marketing, you have to be exactly what you preach. You can't fake this. People are going to see right through it. And so
Absolutely.
that's definitely been one of my biggest struggles, is my self-talk and my self-belief and self-worth. And there are days where I'm like, I'm not good enough for this. People aren't going to follow me. I can't do this. There's just no way. There's no way that I can lead thousands of people. There's no way that I can have an impact. And just, oh my God, it was just so frustrating. And it's definitely been a process. Oh my God, has it been a process?
I really appreciate you just being vulnerable, first of all, in sharing this, because I think that I got like the chills as I'm saying this, because it's every single one of us, me included, and everybody else watching. We're all going through those same things, and I hope that all those who get the opportunity to watch this video are not only inspired, but are like, oh my gosh, I can do this too. I mean, Kristen just shared this. She'd just been in network marketing for 7 months. She just doubled her team size and just hit a pinnacle rank in her company. And you know what? There's been days when she's wanted to quit. There's been days that she said this doesn't work. To her lack of self-confidence, depression, anxiety, the whole 9 yards. I think all of us can relate at some point or another. But you know what? The bottom line is Kristen kept going. No obstacle stood in her way, big enough to make her throw in the towel. She kept going. She kept pushing. She sought out some wisdom. She's just doing incredible things. And, it really is a testament to your character, Kristen. And I think that a lot of folks who are going to be tuning in watching this are going to be inspired by what you just shared. So I'm really grateful that you were open, and we didn't talk about having you have to share all that or whatever, but I'm absolutely grateful you did because I mean, that's what it's about. I think that you and I would agree that, on social media, no, we don't want to go air all our dirty laundry and all that cool stuff. But you know what? Parts of our story are going to be inspirational to others, and they're going to use that as fuel, as motivation to get through whatever they may be going through. And I know that, by you sharing what you just did, it's going to help a lot of people. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a true testament to, you have two choices in life when you're given a bag of crap. You can either make something with that bag of crap, or you can let it just fester and smell up your life. So, I chose to take that bag of crap that I was dealt with and make something of it. And, I just, not that I've ever felt like I've had to prove myself, but that's what I felt like. I was kind of always working to raise a family and to have a life that I didn't want my children to go through what I went through. And, I wouldn't take it back for a single second at all. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be as strong as I am without all of that. So I wouldn't take it back for a second, but I am living a life that I want to be able to provide for my family and instill self-belief and self-confidence and self-worth in them from day one. And so I just, for me,
amen, sister.
I just want to take that bag of crap and make something out of it.
Love it. So. I love it. I love all these analogies, metaphors, whatever the heck we call it. I'm not that smart to know the difference between those two words, but I think that that's really cool in what you just shared. Again, thanks so much. Thanks so much for sharing that. I'd love to. I know that you've had some success recently. Things starting to take off for you guys. You've got an amazing team, an amazing company. You guys are doing awesome things. I'd love to, provide some more value for our viewers, Kristen, and maybe have you share 1 or 2 tips that maybe have really helped you, catapult over the last couple of months. What could you share with our audience today that they could go out and start implementing in their respective businesses today?
I think one of the biggest things is, for me, is I'm sharing what I'm learning is strengthening my mind. So I've done a couple of videos on what I call defense. I was a defensive player in college for volleyball. So I was the little one that wore the different color jersey. So defense is like second nature to me. And one of the ways that I try to word it is playing defense in your mind and constantly, building that strength, building that defensive wall up, not to keep people out, but to really, when that negativity comes in, that we have a solid foundation to play defense against that negative offense. And the personal development that I dig into is an absolute testimony to my defense and my strength. And it's something I dig into at least a couple hours a day. I stick to my schedule, and I pretty much work out with you every single morning, Brian, because I listen to some kind of training of yours while I do cardio every single morning. So I start off watching you every morning. I'm glad my husband doesn't get jealous.
So just real quick, it is funny the way that's awesome though. That's awesome. So I want to touch on a quick point. You said every single morning. I mean, you're plugging into something. Are you telling me, Kristen, that in order to achieve long-term success, we can't just, watch a training this week and then not do anything for a week or two or a couple of days? Like, do we really have to do something every single day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
great tip.
When I first started this business, I was in the middle of competitive season, which we traveled twice a month. We had practices 2 times a week. I was in the heart of track season, and I was still working a full-time job teaching every day, still creating lesson plans, still doing, my normal teaching hours. And, the only times I could plug in was my drive to work, my 30 minutes before school started, my lunch break, and then my evenings once I got home. And, there are times where I couldn't plug in, but the days that I didn't plug in were the days that I felt the weakest. And so for me to feel strong and be able to have a strong defense, I have to practice it every single day. And it's the same way. I mean, I put sports and athletics and fitness into everything because it's just something I'm super passionate about. So it's kind of like if you're on a weight loss program and you want to keep that weight off, you can't just stop doing what you were doing to get that weight off, or you're going to gain it back. And so for me, it's something I do have to do every day. And if I'm in a frenzy, or I have, even on my weekends when I don't get up early in the morning and do my workouts, I get up at least not any later than an hour later. I only give myself an hour extra of sleep, but I still get up, I do my regimen, I listen to my books, I do my devotionals, I do everything the same. It just is an hour later in the day. And so it's absolutely important that you plug into whatever is working for you every single day. And then also, another thing is that never, ever, ever stop recruiting. And I know that in the beginning, I recruited very, very strongly right out of the gate, and I was super pumped and super amped. And I put all my eggs in my first recruits, and the data holds true. About every 5 recruits, you're going to have one that runs like you do. And so I recruited 5 people, and I put all my eggs in those 5 people thinking that I was going to get to the top quick, and I kind of stopped recruiting. And so that's something that has completely amped up my business, is that even though I've signed on recruits and I've doubled, I'm still trying to triple now. And it's a constant work ethic. And I'm going to quote you here, but I'm literally working to be hunted and no longer have to hunt people. I don't want to be the hunter. So the only way to do that is to continue digging into personal development, sharing what I'm learning and what's working for me, and then also constantly recruiting. So those 3 things have been, one of the reasons that it's booming right now.
Love it. Love it. So exercise your mind daily. I think this is huge, especially for all those who are tuning in. Let's be honest. We all have, me included, good days, great days, terrible days, like tragic days, like I want to go hide in a corner, put a blanket over my head days. Like, we all have those days. And, we can continue to fall into that trap and, take a day off here, a day off there. But exercising your mind daily, I think, is something super powerful that will help any of us overcome whatever obstacle or struggle that is. So super, super powerful tip there. And then the second one you shared is never stop recruiting. I think that this is a lesson learned for a lot of people. Once, like you shared, you enrolled your first 3, 4, 5 folks, and you're like, whoo, oh my gosh, awesome. I'm tired. Maybe I'm going to go grab me a cocktail and go sit by the beach and just watch this thing build itself. And then all of a sudden you probably found yourself like, oh my gosh, one of those 5 are left, or none of those 5 are left. Or what the heck do I do now? Looks like I need to continue. So, never stop prospecting. I think it's a very valid point. That doesn't mean you can't, what's the right word? Acknowledge or celebrate or recognize those successes, right? Okay. But I believe, it must always continue. One thing I will share and add to that is, as you were starting to allude to, right? You wanted to become more of the hunted, so you no longer had to go out and be the hunter. I think it's important for all of our watchers to understand is that, you know what, in the beginning, you're going to have to be the hunter, and that's okay. But while you were out hunting and recruiting and prospecting new folks, what you can do on the flip side is to continue to amplify your level of marketing, which is, you know, Facebook posts and, you know, live videos, and we can go all, you know, diving into forums, all that cool stuff, because eventually, I think the ultimate goal here is that, right, Kate, I mean, never stop prospecting, but the majority of your new customers and your new business partners are being filtered through your marketing efforts, meaning you create a live video today, it may generate a customer or two, but that's a piece of content that's going to continue to filter. You may get a message a month from now, a year from now, 2 years from now saying, hey, I just saw your video on this, this, and this. Tell me more about what it is you're doing. And you're like, oh my gosh, I did that video 2 years ago and I just got another message about it. I mean, that is powerful stuff. Super, super powerful stuff. And I think that, you know, the better we understand on using social media and using it in a way that is beneficial and helpful and value driven to our audience, that can be the result. But it's a process. It's a process that we need to work up and build too. So I think those are some excellent points. Type the word helpful down in the comment section below if what Kristen just shared with you guys was helpful. I mean, those were some absolutely powerful tips. Let's finish up, Kristen, by sharing this. And no, I'm not going to sit here and twist your arm. I know you said this is your first network marketing business. You're a big fan, obviously, of personal development, exercising your mind daily. But I just love your honest, transparent wisdom. Speak directly to our viewers today and just share, you know, the impact that personal development, investing in yourself, and understanding that concept and how that's helped you achieve what you have and gotten you to where you are today.
Okay, so I mean, personal development is something that I kind of dug into. I mean, I did the GoPro by Eric Worre and those types of things, and like your basic ones that help launch your business. But as far as being transparent with yourself, really understanding your weaknesses and really admitting them. And when you admit them and you speak them into existence, you're able to change. And I think that's something that I was kind of a little prideful in the beginning, is that I didn't want to admit fault. I didn't want to admit my weaknesses, because to me, I just felt like I didn't know, I wasn't knowledgeable, or I couldn't be a respected leader if I was weak, or, you know, I think that was a big turning point for me, was when I realized, okay, I don't have to know it all. I don't know it all. And I definitely had a sense of pride that I had to break down and let go of. And personal development allowed me to do that. And I do it in bits and pieces. Like, I don't sit and do 2 hours of the same book. I don't have the concentration span or the attention span for that. I do 30 minutes of one, I take a break, minutes of another, I take a break, I do 30 minutes of another, I take a break. There are certain books that I can't listen to in the car because I want to write everything down, because I'm a visual learner. So I want to be able to visually retain it so that I can recall it. And then there are other personal development where it's kind of like background, that it's a little bit repetitive, but it's not something that I necessarily have to write down. It's kind of like, you know, when you listen to rap cussing music, you're bringing that language into your vocabulary. And so having that positivity in the back of my mind, you know, I'll listen to some of your trainings or another book that I'm reading. I listen to it while I cook my husband breakfast after we get home from the gym. Where there's something else, when I'm done doing that, I go outside, I drink my coffee, and I'm writing my other book that I'm listening to down, because it's something that I want to implement right now. And so
Did we lose her? I think we may have lost connection. We're going to hang on here. Drop me a comment down below if Kristen has frozen. I believe she froze on us. Maybe she can, Kristen, I don't know if you can hear me still. Maybe try to hop off and then hop back on this live broadcast. X-nay on her. Awesome. Awesome. Kristen, there she goes. Let's see if she'll hop back on here. Let's see. I'm going to invite her on here now. Kristen, we lost you, but I'm adding you. I just sent you another invite. There she is. There she is.
Oh my gosh. I had a
It's all good.
Tech. I'm actually sweating. I'm sweating.
It's all good. It's all good. Technology. Feel free, take the floor and finish up. I know you were finishing up on personal development.
Oh, well, I mean, let's see. So with personal development, you have to take it as something that is going to resonate with you. And in the beginning, some of the things weren't resonating with me that they are resonating now. So I just encourage you guys to dig into something that resonates with you. If anxiety or depression is something that you're struggling with, make sure that's something that you're engaging in right now. If it's more of a business aspect, whether it's recruiting, marketing, dig into that right now. All of it's going to help you in your business. And personal development, I can't express how important it is to dig into, to be successful in network marketing. If you want to do it the correct way, if you want to establish yourself as a servant leader, then you need to practice being a servant leader. It's not just a showboat type spam. I'm going to appear a way on social media and then I'm not, I'm really not living that lifestyle. And it is a process. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it has been a process. My husband can most definitely agree with this, that, I had to really put into action what I was reading, what I was teaching. And it's just been an amazing transformation over the past 7 months. And I was, journaling the other night and I was like, I would be such a better coach. I would be so much more patient. I would be so much more empowering, motivating. And I feel like I would just display this strength so much better than I used to be. And so personal development is 100% the reason for that. So
love it. I see your hubby Gabriel tuning in. What's up, dude? Thanks so much for tuning in and watch. Your wife is amazing. She's an absolute rock star and she's absolutely crushed today's training. Kristen, we're so thankful that, again, that you took some time out of your afternoon. I know for sure that each and every person that has the opportunity to watch this video is going to be blessed by what you shared with them. Again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for hanging out with us for the last 30 minutes or so. Here's what I want to encourage all of our viewers to do before we sign off out of here. In the description of this video, I tagged Kristen's name. If you are not already following her, be sure to follow her, send her a friend request, whatever it is you need to do. She's been ramping up her Facebook Live videos. She's been crushing out, I think, just about every single day. I mean, the last time I checked, she's absolutely rocking it out, setting the pace, doing what leaders do, being the example, and leading the way. She'd be a great person to follow and connect with. So again, Kristen, thank you so much for taking the time out of your afternoon. Any last minute words before we sign off?
I mean, the best thing that you could do is just to get out there and do it. You don't have to know it all to get started. And I just go out and do it. That's all I can say, because you're not going to learn until you just dive right in and trust the process. You joined for a reason. Trust that process and really learn the skills that it takes to do this right. And it is a little bit slower process, but I guarantee it's going to be long-term success. It's not going to just be this short burst and then you fizzle out, because that's why people quit. They quit because they get in that rut. They get in that mindset that I can't do it. And then they never come out of it. And then they just kind of throw in the towel or tap out and say, see you later. I'm done. This sucks. I'm not good at it. It doesn't work. And it doesn't work because you don't learn the skills that it takes. And so I just encourage you to get out there, dive in, and start doing.
Amen, sister. Amen. Well, again, we're so grateful to have you inside of our community. You're doing incredible things. Kudos to you and your team. Super, super proud of what you guys have done, but more importantly, where you guys are headed. So thanks again so much, Kristen. To all of our viewers, thank you guys so much for taking the time today to hang out with us. Again, if you got value from today's video, feel free to share, bottom left-hand corner. And again, be sure you follow Kristen and or add her as a friend. God bless each and every one of you. We will see you next time. Take care.
See ya.